Good morning and welcome to my studio again. This is our second video about how to prepare and pack for painting in France. Today I'm going to show you how exactly I pack my suitcase. Last time we talked about things to take, art supplies, and today I'm going to show you how I pack my suitcase, not only for myself in this case, but I have a studio packed for one of you as well. Margie's paints and her painting equipment is all going to go with me. And this is how I do it in a suitcase and a backpack. Here we go. There we go. Let me get this adjusted so you can see a little bit better. There's the suitcase. Great. So I have this suitcase I've been using for years and it works really well for me. It's a little bit too big to go as a carry-on, which is fine with me because I don't like to take my paints through the TSA. I'd rather have them be in my suitcase and be checked and go through that way, and rather than dealing with people firsthand at the TSA who don't really know what we're carrying with us anyway. So this suitcase and knapsack is all I will have, and here we go. I'm going to show you what I do. I'm in the bottom half first, and let me show you. This is a wine box that I've converted into a little painting easel. It opens up, I've put hinges on it, and it'll hold either 6x8 panels this way or 8x10s. Here's a little palette, and then the compartment inside has 24 6x8 panels in it, as well as Margie's paints and palette knives, and some of Karen's paints as well, which I ended up with. And then here's that form that you really need, your MSDS form, that goes in here along with it. That closes up nicely. And then it goes in, I've got a little bag it goes in. Here's this nice bag that will hold everything when she travels around painting. And along with that, she's going to be a seated painter, so we have a nice little stool for her that collapses into just 3 bars like this. It just so happens this is the perfect length to squeeze into the suitcase. Now, so it's going to go down in here now, right along one edge. I'm going to turn this around, maybe you'll be able to see better. There we go. So we've got the stool in there. Next, that box in the bag slips right next to it. And then I push that in there. I've still got a nice rectangular space here where I'm going to put this wet box. I didn't even know if I was going to take this along, but I am since there's room. This is made by Gorilla, and it will hold 12 6x8 panels like this. So when they're painted and wet, they can come home and nothing will get destroyed. I have another box like this, actually that's 8x10 that Claude is going to use. But this happens to just fit down in the slot that's left over here. Like that. Which still leaves me room to stuff some socks down in there, just around there. That pretty much fills in perfectly the bottom section of this suitcase. However, there's still a little room left where I'm going to tuck in my hat, and here's some tape that I'll use on the trip, and various other things. There's still room for a few other things I could stick in here too if I need to, but that pretty much seals up the bottom half of the suitcase. So let me close this up now, and we'll fill in the top. The first thing I'm going to put in the top of the suitcase is my tripod. I have 3 tripods that I use to paint with armatures to hold paintings, and they're all being used this trip by some of you and myself. So this is actually the longest one. Some of them are collapsed shorter, which I really like, but this is a nice one, but it's just a little long, but luckily it will fit in here diagonally. Which leaves me with the rest of the space to fill in with clothes. I've got 2 rolls of clothes here. One is shorts and underwear that I've laid out flat, layered them up, and then just rolled them up, and they fit in on one side of my tripod that's diagonally in here. The other roll is shirts. I have painting shirts as well as shirts that I can wear when we go out to dinner at night or out sightseeing, when I'm in Provence with my artistic adventure there. And those slide in nicely along this other side of the tripod, which also help protect it a little bit. All these clothes do. And that still leaves room here to tuck in a pair of sandals and a bag with toiletries and things like that. That can go in there, and on top I actually have some maps and a travel book that I'm going to stick in there, and that'll kind of fill that out nicely. And all this still weighs somewhere around 30 pounds, give or take. The only thing that would still go in here is my own bag of paints, which I have not packed yet, but that'll go. My paints will go in a plastic bag and in here, and I know I'm still way under the weight limit for traveling on the airplane. So this is cool. This is all set. It's on wheels. That pulls. Now I have one more thing to pack, and that's my knapsack. This is just, you know, a standard size knapsack. And the nice thing is there's a little spot in here for where you could put a computer, which I will be taking my computer, and that will go in here, but also, I dropped a few things, but let me snag them. So I'm going to tuck in, this is a collapsible pallet that I'll be using. That can go in here. And also here's the armature that snaps onto my tripod, which holds my panels when I paint. That goes in there. Little sketchbooks can go in, and anything else. And I could sneak in my computer there still too, which I haven't done. Now, the big compartment here, I'm going to use for another wet box. This is a larger wet box that will hold all sorts of different sizes that I created. I showed you the last time, but right now I've got 14 8x10 panels in here right now. So I need enough panels to paint for a good 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks. I'll be gone 4 weeks altogether. So this is all closed up now, and I can just slide it in here. Once that's in there, there, now it's down in all the way. I can zip this shut. On the top here, I have room to stick in my apron, which is rolled up, and also have a plastic bag full of gloves that I sometimes use when I'm out painting to protect my hands. So I've packed up some of those, and that would completely close up now. I could seal this up the rest of the way, and I still have one compartment left in the front. That's where I'm going to put this, which is really important. It's all my documents, all my travel documents. Tickets for the airplane, tickets for the train, car rental equipment information, as well as house rental information when I go to Provence. Everything gets here, and I put it all in order so I can, once I'm done with something, if I don't need it anymore, I can pitch it, and then I just have what's left. So there's plenty of room still here in the front for my computer or any other things that I want to have, because this will go with me on the airplane. And then when I'm traveling, this goes on my back, and I just have to pull one suitcase, so it's really cool and efficient. That being said, there we go. At the bottom of this this blog post today that has this video, I've written down a lot of these things as well as contact information for you when you that you might want to copy and hang on to. Phone numbers, where you're going to be, and all that sort of thing. Everything else is there, so I won't bore you talking about it. Check it. If you have questions, contact me, and I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.